Craig to leave and Retardica putting his helmet on now. You see some sort of activity on the computer screen. Have him. I think we got through. Yes.
The fuck
What's
just
up?
happened?
Hey guy, what's going on?
Who is this?
This is Retardica. No,
Well,
this
what are
is
the-
Mumbles under the sea taffy breath.
From NBC?
BC.
Yeah, NB under the sea. I watched that.
Am I coming in clear?
Good gravy. It's the clearest you've ever come in. I hardly recognized you. You're that guy with the
This-
orange hair from the under the ABC.
Yeah.
What's so fucking funny now?
I'm sorry I kept you waiting, guy. I had a big job I had to go do.
Oh, well, fucking tell me about it. I had to circle a 6 into a 7 how many times to get it to turn into a 2?
In case you haven't noticed, Craig is already here recording.
Oh.
I invited him while I was waiting for you.
Is he your new steady?
New co-host.
Your new co-host. So I'm sort of playing a backseat to Craig now. That's all right.
Really?
I know the audience could probably see that coming.
He's just a little bit better, being on time because
Well, listen. I did the best with what I had at the time. There was a lot of complaints about my my microphone, and I tried to fix that. Considering the budget constraints and circumstances as they are, didn't find a lot of sympathy at the upper echelons of the BWD offices. It's all right.
Did you fill out hurt feelings form?
Well, yeah, but they don't give them to Mexicans on Monday, so I had to wait till Tuesday. So I just filed it, so it's not going to get through until I don't fucking know. They're going to email me. When they get it, they're going to email me.
I'm tired just hearing about it.
You wouldn't.
I could imagine how you feel.
Oh, can you?
I could imagine.
Well, I was watching TMZ and I saw somebody got a new. Oh, forgive me, it's not a rocking chair; it's a gliding chair. What is this? Back to the fucking Future, Marty?
TMZ.
The marital zone, the Mumble Zone. I was watching the Mumble Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one sweet glider chair, I tell you. I waited just about 8 weeks for that to come.
That
I think I spent $7.99 on that there.
You're not doing too bad over there in the mud pits.
Oh, I do okay. It's just, I'm used to some of the finer things in life, so.
Well, the pattern on that chair, for the listeners, I'm not even going to bother describing what it is or what it looks like. But
it's like a Mumbles painting.
It looks like a Mumbles painting that you can sit on, and instead of going back and forth, you go to and fro.
Yeah, forward, back.
Yeah, you don't understand that, then that's because you're Mexican or lower.
With the matching ottoman.
And if you don't know what that is, they had an empire, and you put your feet on them. So basically Mumbles is now God, and the rest of you are his footstool. But You can just ask
between
Craig.
that,
Craig will tell you.
Between the glider chair and the new microphone, I'm better than just about anybody that's listening.
You're better than me. I think that. I think you learned from your masters very well.
All is inferior to Mumbles.
Yeah, I mean, who else has
what was this? What was this hot topic you wanted to?
Oh, there wasn't no hot topic, man. It's not a topic.
What were you thinking? What were you? What do you have in mind for that?
We live in a different time now. You want to share stories. You want to explain things to people. But there's such a knee-jerk reaction to the vocabulary that we're forced to use. It gets uncomfortable sometimes. So a lot of details get lost in the shuffle, in the Hollywood shuffle. Hey, Mumbles, you still there, or are you just going to let me twist in the wind?
What, you can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Well,
was I not talking? Am I not talking loudly?
I don't know. Are you talking now, or are you just letting me air my grievances?
I was letting you continue. I thought.
I don't know. It's just strange since Craig is the. I thought it was a two-person show.
Well, you want me to?
It's been a lot of
want me to ask Craig to leave?
No. So a lot of things have changed since Craig has taken over the captain's chair under the captain's chair.
Oh, he was here before I was too, so don't feel that bad about it.
That's a little fucking weird, isn't it? Now that I think about it, yeah, you're right. Oh. This is kind of a conspiracy wrapped up into another conspiracy. You know what I mean? I don't want to speak.
That's borderline controversial.
Yeah, it's a controversial conspiracy, which is really fucked up because this might not make it to air.
Why wouldn't we publish this?
Well, it's not us. It's CRAIG. No?
Oh, Craig might not let this.
I didn't want to say nothing. You said it, not me. Just
this smom weekend brunch.
The weekend brush to get those mats out. Why these things always happen to me? They supposed to be like this, man. Stop brushing me, man. It's real bad. It's mom brunch. Real bad. Yeah, so I guess we have a 1-9. This is the 1-9 episode. Is that right? How many we got?
I think so. I mean, I lost count. We were on a roll, and then we just got so
see, that's what I'm talking about
with our recording dates. I was so very fearful that you were going to be gone for the evening by the time I got into the studio. So I'm happy to at least be doing this thus far.
Well,
I hope this chalks one up for the record books, like all our other episodes seem to always turn out to have some nuggets of gold.
Well, another notch in the belt.
I'm hoping this is one of them.
Yeah, I
hope this turns into something. I mean,
our
feels like we're both floundering around here.
Our 44th president taught us a lot about hoping. But thank God for 88 miles per hour. We just got to wait till Biff catches a door to the chin, baby.
Which one is 40?
Then things. I don't fucking know.
What are we on?
44 was the Mexican one, right?
was
Getting thirstier. 44 was
I don't know what number. Was that Obama or no?
Which one was the woman?
35, I thought.
Yeah, which one had the gay son?
All did.
See, it really starts to get confusing. The more you learn, the more you don't understand. Oh, let me adjust my posture. All right. What's up, Craig?
Craig.
Yeah, see, he's not so good.
Oh boy,
he's slow on the uptake.
Got a lot going on here today. I feel like I'm really in I'm really in a recording studio.
What I like,
this microphone.
I mean, for those of you listening, it's amazing the progress Mumbles has made since. I mean, I'm coming off the Mumble zone here, so maybe this is public information.
Yeah.
You got a nice fucking microphone, man. Where did you pick that up? At the local landfill? Did the Cosby kids fight you for it, or did you just have an inside scoop on some high-end technology?
This on. Well, I bought this on credit at the Best Buy.
Oh, so it's just a matter of time before it gets repoed.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as it being repoed. I would just say it'll just go so far as to before I break it and go and exchange it for a new one under my warranty that I purchased.
This didn't quite perform as I had expected for my my broadcasting purposes.
Give me a new one. I need a new one.
It sounded a little tinny.
This
one smells like my basement.
My upper lip.
This one smells like oil paint and I don't know. It's just not, whatever it is, it's not good. And I have an allergy. You don't want me to be allergic. Yeah, that's great. See, we learned from the overlords.
Yeah, I got this here microphone, and it was pretty reasonable. It was $119.
Hang on, let me get a pen. 119.
Now, if you just if you ignore the 95 cents and the tax and all that, it's a pretty significant cost.
Yeah, it is.
Not like it's a great sum of money, but just the number. It's
some of us have to sweat to earn those kind of figures.
I also purchased or repurchased that. I don't know if I told you about it. I bought that Dragon software so I could talk into the microphone and have it all transposed into a Word document.
No, so that's fantastic.
Well, I bought it. I bought it I don't know, a month ago, and it was a student teacher edition. And apparently you had to send them some sort of credentials to get an activation code. And Mumbles does not exist on paper as far as academics are concerned. So he ended up returning that version to the store and contemplating the purchase of a version that I could actually use. So I thought about it for a while. I went back and bought it. So I've been using that for the past few days.
A lot of gas spent on this decision.
Getting the Mumbles the Mumbles memoirs, the Mumbles memoirs.
Yeah, I think that's what we can call them for now.
Yeah, so Oh, it's just like a Word document that I've just like all of my random ramblings and things that I have written down, chicken scratch all over the place. I've just been like into this Word document.
So once you've actually stolen the software, used it, and transcribed your notes, you can take it back to the store.
Well, yeah, that's
right?
pretty much it. Once I have my book done, then yeah, I don't have this. I don't really have a need for the software anymore.
Yeah.
So
see, people, this is how you do it.
Now I almost really made out like a bandit. I was looking for some outdoor speakers as well, and you know, like
for
had entertainment purposes.
Oh, I thought
Mumbles likes to Mumbles likes to party, you know.
Well, I heard you're getting ready for the Breaking Windapalooza. Which still the title I'm not so sure about, but you know. You got plenty of mud.
So
you got plenty of mud, and we're sending in the titanium sulfate to spray overhead to get more mud.
The Mumbles Palooza.
Yeah, that's still on schedule.
Yeah. So you know, but we're gonna have to do it without the speakers. I was trying to you know, get my what do they call it? My charisma
donkey.
Basically, get a free set of speakers because the people that stocked the shelves failed to take the 2 pairs of speakers that should have been, you know, 2 sets on the shelf for sale.
Oh,
they left it in like
display.
They left it in the bigger shipping box, you know. So,
oh boy, you are a clever young man, aren't you?
I was I was trying to buy the 2 sets of speakers that were in this one box for the price of the 1 set of speakers, but
I did that once at Dwayne Reed, and it turned into a staring turned into a staring contest, and I won. But interesting. How did did you?
You know,
did you get the discount?
No, it didn't fail. Like he caught on eventually. He figured it out that it was just supposed to be.
Damn it! There's still some thinkers out there.
Yeah, half the content of the box, basically. You know, like in the midst of the him figuring it out, I Googled it and found the same speakers for half the price. So basically, I can get them for that price somewhere else.
Yeah, so you could just abandon ship, sure.
Yeah.
You're really working something
like,
on
you can put them back. Something
going on out at the compound there.
Oh,
I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
A lot of big energy exchanges going on.
Yeah, that's good. You got to flip it.
Big energy flip.
Oh man.
Yeah,
don't get me started.
I don't know. I guess I'm just able to you know, have my breathing room now that the Mumbles has an assistant to take care of, you know, the daily chores, and
right.
I'm pretty much freed up to where whenever I'm not home, or you know, whenever I'm not away from home working, I'm hiding in the basement, throwing some paint around, or
well, now hang on a second. You're cutting out a little bit. Maybe your new microphone has some sensitivities we need to work out. Or it's different because your Monty Hall, Pat Sajak, Alex Trebek 2010 interview mic, your cotton candy cone.
Yeah.
Had a completely.
You want me to go back to that one?
No, it had a completely different feel. And I'm starting to appreciate the subtleties of these things as we communicate. So your new microphone may actually be sort of saving. It may have an eco mode where it's saving electricity and cutting out certain pauses or something like that. But I'm coming from the sweat lodge because I'm trying to get in touch with my inner spirit animal.
Which one?
Well, my German Shepherd. Can you hear it?
I heard that right. 525.
Yeah. I mean, without a fucking, never miss a fucking beat. Just like a Nazi. You say 525? 525 it is. 525 you want, 525 you get. I don't know. Everyone, you know, at parties, people always say, do the Nazi accent. It's a big hit. But yeah, the German Shepherd's here. I'm staring at a paint by numbers German Shepherd now. Barely remembering why I'm here. But it seemed... Where are we? Hang on a second. So you got the new mic. Does it come with software that you run through the computer and you can adjust levels and things like that?
That was actually one of the key buying points for me. On the back of the box, it shows you this, software that's included.
Okay.
And
that's fucking cool, man.
It looks really good, but I try to, of course it doesn't come with a CD. It's something you gotta go on and download, and I downloaded it 3 times, and it doesn't want to launch on my computer. So
well, it's not
I
like
really
that
don't know what the capabilities would be.
All right. No. It's always going to be something, isn't it?
I've been... Well, yeah, I mean, I've been using the that other software I have, that Filmora stuff, that I could record into that. So
through your phone, Filmogogo?
Oh, for more for the computer, like the full version,
they have it on the on the compute too. I thought that was just something you got. Is that how you've been getting?
It's like that's how I've been able to put montages together, because on the cell phone you can't piece videos together. So I've been using Filmora 9, and I could basically edit the videos, put transitions and titles, effects. And
yeah. Because your videos have taken a
audio
turn. Your videos have taken a turn for the first.
I was trying to make one earlier where I was trying to do some intentional ASMR.
That sounds great. That's great. Are you going to be smoking and tapping and lighting?
Yeah. Well, at least, to
emphasize certain.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you'll hopefully I'll have something up tonight for it, but
well, I won't have access to it, but the dear listeners certainly are not without the Wi-Fi access or unlimited antenna.
It's just a matter of
transmissions.
The selections that the stuff I'm reading. I'm trying to find
point and shoot, man. It doesn't matter what you pick.
Something that's... Well, I want something that's,
That's the problem. You want something that's
gonna, disrupt the airwaves,
It's gonna do what?
Disrupt the airwaves.
It's too late. It's over. The airwaves are fine.
Did I cut out?
Yeah, I have to make my own words. So I think there's some sensitivity setting for your new...
I think it's just...
What's it called? The Samsung?
The internet connection. Because
always blaming my internet connection.
I think it's a combination because every time like you like listening to the old shows.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Spots that I thought spots that I thought I cut out or spots that I thought you cut out. It's Craig gets it all. So
he doesn't get it all, but it's depending on who's recording. So now that we're doing it on the Mumbles Zone recorder, it catches all of you when I go. No, it catches me when you. Oh, fuck it. Am I going to try to explain this? No. Catch you next time, folks. This has been episode 911. Put it in the mirror and reverse it. 19, yeah? Can you believe it? After 19 episodes, Mumbles is so... He's made so much fucking loot that he can get himself a new microphone. That's usually a sign of someone who works for the...
Reddit.
What do they call it? What's the journalism department of the defense? They call it a DINFO.
Public relations.
No, they call it DINFO, which is not. It's not disinfo, but it's a journalism school for defense. Oh, defense information. They call it defense information school. So a lot of these people who are on the YouTube and have acquired this, predetermined nomenclature of shill. It actually comes from a journalistic department from Defense Information School, where they get young up and comers, or have a good broadcasting sensibility and a bit of an ego, and they can send them out into the general public, and it's part of their what do you call it? Not dissertation, but it's just part of their, maybe it is dissertation. It's part of their thing. So they won't come up off of it. It's not like a direct, it's so ham-handed. They say, fucking CIA. And it's like, well, this is just narrative. This is just like, this is just narrative consultants at the higher echelon. Like you get to a certain point. FBI, same fucking thing. And then there's the other alphabet agencies that do their roles. Like, I mean, you gotta be kidding me. Anybody at the NSA actually they don't actually have any sort of an authority. They just kind of have a patch that they wear, and they're trained to behave in a certain way, slightly provocative, but it's all real-time performance for people who are unaware of what's going on. So a big chunk of the puzzle for people who have gotten to the point where they say, everything is fake. It's like, okay, that's a good place to start. Everything is fake. You can't just say everything is fake. You can, but you're cutting off the stuff that you don't know. So everything that comes through a screen, everything that comes through the television, everything comes through the music we listen to and the words that we use and things like that. It's fake to a degree to obscure, things like giant desalination plants on the coasts of, certain land masses that to this date we're not really sure what they do, or the sky lid that we have above us, where there's the memes that are pushed out through these journalistic outlets, perpetuated through things like YouTube, where everybody starts their fucking video with, "Hey guys, please like and subscribe and ring my fucking ding dong, and you'll get maybe I'll give you a shout out." And this keeps going. So it's like 90% of them are just fucking regurgitating shit because they want to get subscribers to feed the ego. But there's a good 10% of them that are, I don't know, 10%, but there's some smaller percentage that carries a lot more weight, that kind of leads Pied Pipers, the retards, in a certain direction to regurgitate the information. For those that kind of catch on to what's going on, it doesn't really matter because you have a compartment to keep them in. Because what we got to do, Mumbles, what we got to do is keep people. We got to keep them on this track to where they're never fucking really getting a handle on what's going on with the water and the condensation and the condenser and the dams, you know.
Dams.
Yeah. So we just got to keep people, you know, and if they start making a little bit of a noise, we'll just feed them a couple more zeros on the end of their check. They'll figure it out.
Well, a little bit of confusion goes a long ways.
Well, that's the root of Uncle Retardica's occultism 101 studies. Confusion. That's what occultism is. It's to confuse, and it's obscures what's going on. So if somebody gets an idea, you know what you're talking about, you go, oh well, I have an expert right here that can bamboozle you with some boop bop. I licking my pudding cup to that song all night long.
I must have listened to that like 50 times.
I mean, who hasn't listened to that in America?
I don't know how anybody would dislike it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of tastes good to listen to.
And you know, Mumbles be licking all the pudding cups that he ain't spooning. So,
well, that's what the
win-win.
That's what the what's that word? Just get back to me and down in the comments. Tell me what that word is. Who's the fucking guy in the? That's a YouTube trick. It's like, just tell me what that is.
You tell me what I
You tell me what. Yeah, you tell me what the fuck I faked forgot. But Retardica really forgot. What the fuck's the guy that you put the stenographer? Jesus Christ! You know the best thing about telling a joke is that you just
stenographer.
Yeah, you just put stenographer in there. Did this microphone of yours come with the editing software?
Talked about that, and I said, yeah, but I couldn't get it to work on my computer.
See, this is why Craig's no good. He's not one of the. I kept telling you, podcasts always come with a producer who comes from a certain background. Craig is not obvious. Craig is obviously not a name from that certain background that we could benefit from.
I don't know.
How many Craig Steamy-Steins do you know?
Steins? None. Just the one. But yeah, I know probably.
He gave you a deal on that microphone.
Two, probably like 3 Craigs personally. 4 Craigs.
But they ain't Steamy-Steins. They ain't doing us any fucking good.
Not at all.
My point is, these numbers are pitiful. Congratulations to the 15th subscriber. I used to be the 15th subscriber. You know?
That used to be your spot.
That was my fucking spot.
Somebody took your spot.
Somebody took my spot, which is a great thing. I want to pass on to them. My congratulations
to that person. Round of applause to that.
I actually have a sneaking suspicion that whoever that is will take to heart me saying congratulations to them. Because I think if you actually subscribe to the Breaking Winds Dialogue Times Hour Show podcast reunion, you care. At this point, you must care.
Every week is a reunion show.
Yeah, you're not just clicking the subscribe button because like, oh, this is going to help me. You're clicking because you like it. Yeah?
You gotta, you gotta embrace the crazy sometimes, you know?
You gotta be crazy sometimes.
I don't know how to say it, but what do we? What's the topic of discussion? I feel like we're still just
no, it's been a
dipping
long
our
time.
toe in the water, and they're not really getting wet.
What are we supposed to be getting somewhere?
I don't know. I mean, we
used to talk about stuff.
We had a face-to-face. No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
like
God.
we had a face-to-face meeting that we could, you know, I don't know if you want to share that with the listeners at all. Any of that?
Look, this is
any of those events that transpired, but
now listen, Craig didn't show up to that fucking meeting.
Well, you know, he overheard you telling that other guy something about a gate.
Now listen,
and the people on the train, and he didn't want to hear any of that. So,
well, do you want to explain that situation to the people, and then I'm going to give you the update on that?
Well, the situation was that
I needed to get my T-shirts. That's what I needed. In a back alley.
One broke ass was trying to, one broke ass was trying to ask two other broke asses for money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we'll tell the story like
Retardica was all like, you know, hey, guy, beat it. We're in a meeting.
Come on,
can't you see?
No, it's like, what are you, fucking retarded? You see two fucking homeless heimies in a corner, and you're gonna come over here asking them for something they don't have?
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. I'm being honest with you. You could watch me buy food with the money.
I really couldn't understand that scenario.
Yeah, well, like that guy had just come up to me like 2 minutes before you coming over there. So like, you know,
wait a minute, that same guy came to you earlier?
Yeah, he had the exact. Yeah, he had that exact same line. Okay. That's how I know what he was saying.
Okay, so let's start.
So then
let's
you
start at the beginning
here. With them, and I was just
I was not privy to. All right, listeners, now here it goes. So the story is Mumbles came down from the mud pits of upstate New York to meet me at an undisclosed location. After he had rented a multi-million-dollar, 6,000 per square foot space for our Breaking Winds Dialogues podcast, because we're making a lot of money now, obviously, proven by Mumble's new microphone. And so we need to get some real estate so we could get some serious podcasting done. It just was convenient enough for Mumbles and Retardica to overlap in real life. And for the kids out there that don't know what real life is, it means when two fleshy bodies actually share the same physical space together. And after driving, I don't know, through whatever traffic, through upper Mudsville, New York, to lower Manhattan, back into the undisclosed location at a certain borough in New York, Mumbles was able to procure a reasonably priced parking spot, surprisingly, in a back alley somewhere, and he passed on the coordinates to Retardica via technology using Sprint satellite software.
Really just rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, and so we triangulated the coordinates because Mumbles had paninied, which is a verb, past tense, 2 T-shirts, one red and one white, which were of size medium, and Retardica was laundry week, and he didn't have any clean clothes, so he's bringing the thing, so on and so forth. We were in the back alley of a corner, and there's one tattooed man passing off to another tattooed man some fresh printed panini shirts. Out of the corner of Retardica's eye, I saw a man introducing himself introducing himself apologetically, which is always a good sign that you're about to make a new friend.
Yes.
And even Retardica is not completely sure what a Mumbles looks like. So after giving the duck whistle, the deer whistle, to just confirm that this individual who looked strange hiding in a dark alley was indeed Mumbles, and it was reciprocated. Retardica felt safe approaching this man, knowing, yes, this is family, and he has my clean t-shirts. So it was highly inconvenient, I would dare say inconsiderate, despite your economic troubles, to corner two highly frustrated, strange, broke victims of Jewish technology in such a situation, asking them for money. And then Retardica, as usual, this is my go-to. I say, you know what?
You're just trying to help. You're just trying to help.
I'm just saying, look, what you're looking for, I don't have. It's not I don't want to give it to you. But even if I did have it, I'm not going to give it to you because it's too precious to me at this point. But I can tell you, looking at my watch, provided by Greenwich Mean Time, the Vatican, and the Catholic Church, and all of our favorite usual suspects, go through that gate, which was outside of the dark alley. There's a gate, and you go, and at the end of that gate, it's like the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold. The leprechaun, you would find him there. Because all of the people with the money are coming off that staircase from the subway. And they will provide you with what you want. To me, it's perfect math. I circled the 7. I flipped the 6. It turned into a 9. I showed him the hole. He could go through it. It's a simple bada boom, bada bing, bada bam.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You just told me, if you just told me no, I will respect that. I will respect you.
Yeah.
But instead you telling me about a gate and some
That's precisely the quote. If you just told me no, I would have respected that. But you try to tell me about a gate. Well, for me, I take offense to this because not only did I tell you no, I offered you a solution, which I know from most debates is not offered up, and I consider that.
He was not willing to listen.
Yeah, he wasn't a good listener.
Not at all. He was reading his script.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was the exact same line he gave me like 3 minutes before when I was paying the meter. You know?
Yeah.
He came up to me.
Yeah.
He came up to me, and then he said the same shit to the guy that was behind me. And then you came along, and he came up to both of us, and you're like, nigga, please.
But see, I didn't know that happened to you earlier.
Can't you see we in a meeting?
Yeah, that's basically what I said, right?
Yeah, I'm talking to Mumbles.
That's basically what I said.
No,
I believe I started with nigga, please.
You were very cordial, and you were like, like you said, you were trying to be helpful. So,
yeah, well, I mean, it's just the thing is, logic.
Unfortunate guy.
Yeah, and how often do I run across this? It's not like you're a stranger to this situation. So it's like how many people are just fucking shit out of luck. Like once you lose your family, once you lose your friends, any comfort that you can find, not everybody goes to the bottle. But the thing is, you start to lose your fucking shit. You start to lose your bearings, especially in an environment where it's like, it's hot, it's cold, it's rainy, it smells like shit, it looks like shit, people are fucking ignoring you, you start to feel less than human. It becomes a very strange psychological situation, and you eventually start to lose your shit. And so every line you cast is just it's a fucking It's a desperate fucking attempt to just get more than money. I mean, yes, the money, but it's like just acknowledgement that you are existing. I need solidification that I exist. And most people won't even do that. And that's the madness of being like without home or without a car, because you can live in your car and still maintain some sort of thing. But when you're shit out of luck, you can't even like, you don't even have a vehicle to live in or something like that. Sounds like I'm speaking from experience. It starts to get real fucking weird, real fucking fast, and people are just kind of naturally repulsed by you. Or not repulsed, they just don't want to see you because it reminds them that they're in the same situation. And once you get deep enough into that, fucking language starts to break down and shit. And what did homie say after? Like he's like, you trying to tell me about the gate? I would respect it if you just told me no. And he was like, but once he realized that I was actually like giving him advice, like it's about 5 o'clock, it's going to be rush hour, and there's going to be a lot of people who do have money that will come off of it. He goes, and he grokked the situation. He said, man, he said, man, those people ain't going to give me no fucking money, man. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Walked over to the gate.
That's exactly right. Just fucking walk in the gate. But there's more chance. I mean, if you want to go fishing, you go fishing. And if you're fishing for saltwater fish in a freshwater pond, you're retard. And if you're cornering two fucking retards with a, a Breaking Wind t-shirt exchange in the corner of a dark alley, you might want to get a new accountant or strategist.
Don't corner me, bro. Nobody puts Retardica in a corner.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I was like, nigga, please.
Yeah, by the time we were walking out of that parking lot, that guy, I went to the gate that you told him to go to.
Well, so here comes part two.
That motherfucker's right.
Well, thank you. This is a perfect segue to complete the story, because he actually did go through that gate, didn't he?
Yeah.
So the next day, Mumbles,
this guy again?
I saw that exact same dude.
Suit?
And I heard
one of those, was it like one of those pretty woman things? Like, you made a big mistake yesterday, fella. Big. Huge.
I'm not sure because I can't remember. All I know is that transsexual was a prostitute and Richard Gere got tricked somehow into supporting an economy that was against his benefit. But in my situation, all I know is I saw a proper African-American dark-skinned man dressed really well in a stretch limousine, black, arm hanging out the window, 2 watches on, top hat, monocle, cigarette in a long stem, at least 8 inches long, white gloves, Mumbles.
Wow.
And he said, Retardica, thank you for telling me about the gate.
Yeah. Well, he hit.
So what did we learn here today?
Always listen to the retard by the parked car that has a shitty t-shirt.
Buy my book, motherfucker. That's exactly right. What do you think? You think you just listen to Breaking Wind dialogues because it's fun? No, you're listening to Breaking Wind dialogues because it works. Right?
Yeah, it works.
I mean, that's proof. That's proof right there.
Something's worked somewhere. But, getting back to a few things that you talked about, I wasn't able to get a word in edgewise.
Who, me?
But, remember the discussion we were talking about, like, was these journalists like reporting these stories, and they don't know why they're reporting. They're just reporting, and doing the job and whatnot. And you're talking about the yellow. What's the word that you use? Yellow journalism, or is it yellow jacket journalism?
No, yellow journalism. Yeah, yellow journalism is sort of sensationalism, sensational journalism to move a story along. Yeah. Hello.
They don't know, and they don't know why they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
I was just trying to liken that to like how bumblebees, work, like talking about the origin of thought, like maybe these once they get this, like the press badge, maybe they get like some sort of like radio broadcast, like piped into their head to be reporting.
Well, I think there's probably a mathematical formula that kind of explains why illogical things happen. And illogical things will happen because there's an influence unbeknownst to somebody else. So a bad idea will perpetuate itself usually because there's a big budget behind it, or a big budget proportional to that person's greed or need. So
if everybody's supposed to have free will, and reporters would be like, oh, I'm not reporting fucking lies, and not going to further this agenda anymore because I don't believe it. You don't think?
Yeah, but I think it's
would really.
I think it's a rare few that get to that point where they realize they're at the fine line of I'm doing, like, where there's the realization is like, oh shit, I'm actually doing something wrong, because it's so compartmentalized. It's very difficult to tell if you're doing something wrong. That's why it continues in perpetuity through generation to generation. That seems to be kind of the linchpin to the success of the whole continuing narrative, where things that are illogical or cruel to fellow human beings is there's the separation either through generations or through immediate moments via financial benefit.
Well,
and then
they mean well, and they think that they're doing good.
Well, look at doctors, for example, who misdiagnose or criticize you for.
If they really think that they're like doing good and they have good intention, then anybody ever really be mad at them for anything?
Well, sure, you can be mad at them, but it doesn't matter if you're mad at somebody. That's just a black. That's an emotional black hole. It doesn't matter. It becomes, in the world, their actions have greater effect.
They're trying to do good, though.
Yeah, well,
good. They're trying to help.
Well, that's the nastiness. That's the nastiness of the spells that are cast on us most effectively through the English language. Because how difficult is it to explain something to somebody? For example, just looking in the sky, the relationship between what appears to be, aircraft. I'm just going to break it down to the minimal. Like, there appears to be aircraft in the sky, whatever it is, and the lines will come out. And if you watch the lines long enough, you'll see that it covers the sky, and the temperature will change, and the humidity and the pressure and the wind will change on the ground. Like there appears to be that relationship. And that's a very fundamental, basic explanation. If you try to explain that to somebody without getting into, oh, they're trying to slow kill us, and why would they do that? No,
exactly.
just the relationship. The people really can't bridge that. They can't bridge that gap because they never really paid attention to it. So it doesn't exist to them. For example, there's a lot of people on YouTube who are not really people; they're characters. It's like if you wrote an email to Wile E. Coyote at Warner Brothers Studios, you're going to get the same response as you would from like one of these characters that I used to follow. I'll just say it, John Laban, or JLB, as he goes by. A lot of the information that he puts out is very attractive, and it makes sense in the presentation. But it has it ignores sort of the next step. The next step being, well, what is it? So going back to the idea that like everything's a hoax. It's like, yeah, okay. But that's the reaction to waking up to Gene Rosen in his purple parka. I had the children come to my house, and I gave them the pudding pops, and it was terrible. And like, Gene Rosen was like the greatest hits of our generation. Like that motherfucker. If I was a journalist, like a real journalist, I'd be digging up like, what? Can't be that hard to find the address and phone number and email of one Gene Rosen. That's a juicy article right there. Like, what is Gene Rosen doing now? Well, it's, anyone who has any sense, obviously, that's like some, that's some Spielberg magic gone wrong. That's like being on the Muppet Show one time. Cookie Monster became a hit, but fucking, and Karate Nigga didn't make it. Which if you don't know, Jim Henson had a character called Karate Nigga, and it was an orange puppet with a big afro, like a white karate outfit with a black belt. And Karate Nigga. You didn't know about him.
I would implore any.
But Cookie Monster made it to the top, just like Alex. What's his name? Cooper Anderson.
Cooper.
Alex Cooper. who did the news on Alex Cooper did the news on them.
Cooper Jones.
No.
Bill Jones. What?
No. Well, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking there must be some puppet show where that happened. But anyway, yeah. So the adults get one thing, the children get another, and well, going back to the shit in the sky, it's like people are doing things unbeknownst to themselves. I knew a lady who worked at NASA that I met on a dating website. I mean, how crazy is that? And it was like, she turned into some like weird psychopath, but it doesn't mean she's a weird psychopath because she was working at NASA. But it could be that NASA attracts a certain personality that could lean towards the weird psychopath.
Yeah, perhaps. But,
I
don't know what to start addressing first.
All right. Well, let's jump in. You got the all you mumble can buffet.
The
all you can mumble buffet.
I'm probably gonna forget more. Almost all of what you said pretty quickly.
Thank God.
But get into the airplane pilots, like spraying the stuff in the air.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think any of these guys would be like, hey, this stuff is bad, and I think I'm doing good, and my family's down there, so let me stop it, or let me do it and stop other
Well,
people.
one thing is you bring in people from a different country that are unfamiliar or doing it in the name of something else. So it's easy to kind of separate those emotions. Like if you live in,
they bring in outsiders to do the dirty work,
or somebody like if the idea that these are like drone technologies, which would be the most economical. I tend to think a lot of the stuff is sort of drone technology. It's like, why would you pay a pilot when you can pay a kid to play a video game to, fly these things, especially when I don't think they're all of them are full-size aircraft. I think a lot of them are low altitude aircraft, and because they don't seem to adhere to the same regulations that high altitude aircraft. So there must be some separation of emotions. Like if you sit a kid down $20 an hour to push a joystick around, and there's no real repercussions for him one way or the other, and then he clocks out and the other kid clocks in, and they probably don't even think they're doing something for national security or whatever. Maybe some of them do, some of them don't.
Yes,
but
I don't think they're playing video games.
Yeah, they think they're playing video games, or they may even be doing something that's completely unrelated to flying an aircraft. But they get an LED light in their dash that says, when this red light goes on, you push this blue button. And when you push this blue button, everything's good. When you see the green light, push the yellow button. And it's just, they're button pushers or paper pushers, they used to call them. Like the movie Brazil, Terry Gilliam, Monty Python, and the Flying Circus. It's like, it's easy to do that, and I have a feeling that's probably tied into the way that the power generation is now too, where they have the airports right next to the sewage processing, the water processing facilities near the power generation plants, which are usually located on a river or an open body of water. So there must be some relationship between, the airport, the water processing facility, and the power generation. Just a relationship. I mean, nothing doesn't even have to be anything fucking spooky. If there's a relationship,
or it could just be totally coincidental, and
it could be
maybe
totally
for the safety factor that if a plane crashes,
it's all in the same zone.
Take off or landing, it's going into the water or into people. Like, what do you prefer?
I think obviously there has to be something to do with having access to water, rapid evaporation, sewage processing. Yeah, and there's that. And I mean, what do you see going in and out of the Con Edison plants anyway? The facilities, besides just truck after truck after truck after truck after truck of chemicals.
They just they contain the shit on their facility, and then they have sewer injection pumps, and it ejects the shit right into the water.
And all the advantages that come with extracting whatever's in the water and then putting the water on. But a lot of these things can be put on timers that don't even require an actual physical human being to push a button or something like that. These are timed mechanisms with triggers, based on, like, if there's something in the electrical grid that needs attention here, it'll cut something off here, put a governor on this line here, and then open up that line there so that there's no blockages. It's like a circuitry, or what do you call it? Like blood circulatory system, or a circuit board. So you can mechanize these things to where human involvement is minimal.
Well, my point is what my point is, what I'm getting to is, all right, what's telling the blood and the circulatory system to move?
Well, I think nothing's telling it. I think it's just the natural.
Well, everybody's acting, everybody's doing things. So what's driving people to do these things and act the way they do? Do they have free will? And if they did have free will,
from
if
my
everybody was instilled with free will, I don't think we would have as much shit going on.
No, I agree, but I think it's the interruption of that shit. So I think in a natural situation, whether it's a cold environment, just fundamentally a cold environment, humid environment, wet environment, desert environment, there's the rules of engagement, we'll just call them, and I'll just call it life. The rules of engagement of life. So if there's a high pressure system, it's going to put a certain amount of pressure. There's going to be relationship in the ground with the flow of electricity back into the atmosphere and things like that. Without human perturbation, without human interruption, and human interruption isn't always nefarious at all. But I think that the ability to interrupt that and build, like what you would call an energy device or something like that. I'm pretty sure aircraft is something that works harmoniously with the relationship of electromagnetism and airflow and ether and all that other sort of stuff, to where there's minimal amount of combustible energy to instigate the flow of the etheric energy to go from New York to Los Angeles. It just makes sense because you just want to spend the least amount of money with the most efficient technology. Yeah. But then if you need to generate a story to create an economy so that people feel motivated to get out of bed in the morning to, provide for their families or whatever the fuck the story happens to be, that's where you start. That's where these things start to get really hairy. And it's not like anyone's afraid of anybody waking up, but there are ebbs and flows of people who say "fuck this shit," and that can really put a hole in your economy. That can really fuck up your economy. And I think it gets to a point where these systems are so large that it really is like. You have to fucking scare the shit out of a certain highly caffeinated, highly sugar-fueled, boozed-out population in a cold or hot environment at a predictable time during the holiday of, Easter, religious, or, whatever the fuck. Or if you have an understanding of what the sun is, like there's obviously a lot more energetic something in the air during the spring and summer than there is in the fall and the winter. So, just copy, cut, paste, like intergenerationally, it seems like 100 years at a time, human behavior is kind of predictable. So your technology is going to go along with that. And then, every generation is going to do its fair bit of harm. And then there's the grandpa who's, quote unquote, shell shocked, 70 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, drinking beer, smoking a cigar, not talking to anybody because he realized he's been had and no one is going to fucking believe him. And he's just waiting for them, his own family, to cart him off to the hospital under the guise of having a incurable genetic disease or cancer or something like this, which probably is like a fungal infection or just a fucking breakdown of the immune system. And it just keeps going and going and going. That's why it just never stops, because it's completely broken in our culture, but it ain't broken in the sense of making money, because look at, they're able to build all of this infrastructure under the delusion of shit in a place called outer space. And we just got to pretend that we're putting a black and white vehicle, a fucking airplane, on the back of an airplane. And we're going to blast that off into here. And we just keep that fucking shit going. As long as you get the kids going, goddamn, by the time you're 20-something years old, you're either an alcoholic or you're burned the fuck out or you're completely distracted with whatever career path that you've gotten on. And if you're, I don't know if you're lucky or unlucky, you become a Retardica or a Mumbles, you know, sitting in somebody else's fucking property, sweating your balls off, talking to some other dude that just got a cool microphone and a gliding chair. You know, piecing it all together. And then it's, you know, I always come back to this idea, there's the world and there's life. You know, life has a certain set rules of engagement. If I look at my cucumber plants, there's the I don't know what you call them, the tendrils that come out to grab on to the lattice. They follow a certain spiral pattern. Well, that spiral pattern is in of itself natural, but you can manipulate that spiral pattern, you know, to create a fucking killer monster cucumber tractor bulldozer you know, whatever fantasy show, and people will respond to it because it's based in a natural thing that they naturally respond to. But the manipulation of that mathematically through banking or psychologically through entertainment and like the medical system, you get people to behave opposite of what helps them.
I think over time people are gonna, you know, the people that are quote unquote awake are going to realize that all of these things that we're seemingly against are actually working to our benefit.
Could be, no?
I think we created a real problem for ourselves with this thing called ego, and ego trying to carry on through new generations of people.
Yeah,
and that's why a lot of people ultimately, you know, have large families just because, you know, pride and whatnot, want to carry on the family name, fucking.
Yeah, so, that makes sense,
you know,
right?
We have this, you know, this fucking what could be like this blissful existence in a fucking garden of paradise, polluted with a bunch of fucking morons that, you know, can't tell their asses from their elbows. And you know, I don't want these motherfuckers walking around and, you know, being free to fucking do whatever they want.
Well,
so
that's
they need to be metered.
Yeah?
They have
exactly
on the clock. They have, you know, of these fucking morons that, you know, they go to Walmart for fucking their shit. Like, what do you think these people would do if they were left to their own devices 24/7? You know?
Well, listen, this is the thing, right? Is when you put this is the thing I always bump up against. When you put a person in a certain situation and you only give them certain alternatives. Like if you only have if you're between, let's say you're on 14th Street and you're between Avenue A and B, you're on the grid, you only have a choice to go, you know, towards Avenue C or First Avenue. Is that you're kind of locked into a certain situation. So for a lot of people who in earnest try to build a family because they're carrying on the family name, they don't know why, actually have a good thing going on. They got a garden, they're working a job that's not too terrible or whatever. I mean, I don't know anybody fucking like this. It seems like a complete fucking pig human show. But there are some people out there who
there's on occasion
they make a good run of,
you know, a bright one.
They make a good run of it. But if they become aware of the shit, you know, and they're like, oh fuck, I've been duped. I mean, we're really not that different. I think we've just been been feeling it from earlier age or something. We're still like, I'm still working my job. You're still working your job, but you're doing it you're regulating it based on your energy, what you're willing to give, what you're not willing to give. Like right now, what I'm experimenting with is just like, I'm about to get back into, I got to jump back into another 4 months of really intense, I don't know, internal cleansing. Like I'm on a protocol now where I can't be fucking around for the next 3 or 4 months, or I might put my system in danger. So it's like when we met, we were fucking off a little bit, and it's like that's not going to be an option now. But this is part of my protocol because I realized I've been duped. I've been duped, but it was my own energy that put myself in this situation. Like I always say, like the fine print is I moved to New York City, and New York City is an egregious offense to my senses, but I put myself here because the excitement was attractive. The bait, it was a trap, you know. These cities are a trap to get your youthful enthusiasm, or for some people their greed, for other people their creativity. But then once you're in it,
yeah, everything's going on in the city, you know. That's
exactly. So how do you play your cards, right? How do you play your cards now? Now that you realize
you want to be in it, you know, and then you feel like you're left out when you're not.
Right.
When you're not there submerged, you feel left out.
Right.
Like,
and then if you're like me, like you lose your health to a degree where it makes you snap up and pay attention, and then it's like, what the fuck am I going to do now? And you just scramble around. I think most people don't fucking make it out of that part. And so now I'm at this part where it's kind of like, whoa, I kind of have a clean slate because I've really stopped drilling holes into my own boat, and I'm actually kind of repairing my shit a little bit. And I'm getting my bearings, having a good time. I gotta say, my health has improved since we started the Breaking Wind podcast. Coincidence?
That's
I don't know. But I'm actually able to fucking laugh now. I was laughing a little bit before, but like having a mumbles, like for Christ's sake, butterscotch. People, if you've not listened, if you've not gone, the first one off YouTube, last one off computers, whatever the fuck his name is. Mumbles YouTube channel, and listen to Butterscotch by the one Bill Cosby, because
well,
listen,
it's on the Breaking Winds also. It's just named something different. I forget what
it doesn't matter. Just look for the cause and push on the button, and then just 3 minutes later ask yourself what you were doing before that. You're not going to remember. Your whole life is going to change.
I wrote that song on the job.
It's weird that you wrote it.
About 20 minutes. And then, I just I had that melody like in my head, and I just kept doing like the,
the method to the madness.
I just jotted that. I jotted all out those verses down, while I was sitting there waiting for something to happen at work. And,
triple overtime.
The rest is history. So.
Yeah, and the world will never be the same. And so,
no.
But are we glad that there are certain engineers that can control the electrical system, and are we glad that there are certain psychological magicians that can keep retarded people behaving in a certain way so that we can write butterscotch songs? Or
exactly.
That's the thing. Do we love our captors? This is strange stuff, man.
Well, you gotta, the world is what you make it,
Well,
so,
life is what you make it. The world is shit, but life is what you make it.
But, you could always put your own spin on things, and, just... So here we are. So many fucking people around, like when you're in the city, you really can't escape at all. But, you could always just pull the mumbles and say fuck all and move from the city.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for that, for sure.
Get your fucking house broken into. Get your house broken into and raided by the authorities, and your wealth stolen away from you and thrown in jail, and basically start back over from scratch.
Yeah. So there's the moral of your lesson, you fucking scaredy cats.
You need to know who you belong to, and then their recourse is going to be against you after you try to uproot yourself from
that's right,
the fucking confines of the fucking kingdom that you're in.
Well look, here's the thing. You got to understand, they want to know where their meat is. They have to keep an inventory of where their meat is. They have to.
Yeah.
So that's step one. And step two, I don't know, don't make no fucking problems, man. If you're going to engage beyond, these people are, we joke about being autistic, but real autistic, the real idiot savant autistic motherfuckers cannot think. They can't think beyond mathematics. Like there is no emotion beyond mathematics. So what we would call the overseers, the overlords, the fucking plantation owners, the masters, they're math magicians, and all they do is count shit. They just count fucking, what's his name? Count Chocula, Count Dracula, who's the guy on fucking Sesame Street? What was his name? The Count, whatever. The 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, a count of my, nigga just count shit. That's ha 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 ha. That's all he does. It's just like Cookie Monster just care about cookies. So the thing is like we are a commodification of resources. The human farm animal. So as long as you don't register outside the mathematics of their system, you're going to be good. That's why I think nonsense is the best camouflage. Just be a fucking retard. Splatter some paint.
Like you're saying, nonsense is the best camouflage. I think that's kind of what autism's all.
Yeah, it could be a natural adaptation.
Like they don't understand what they've been doing to themselves.
Yeah.
With these fucking shit they take, so they just label everything autism and
well, exactly. That's the easiest thing.
Like Asperger's, I think that's just to dismiss, basically, higher dimensional beings, I believe, if you want to call them that, people that have activated pineal glands, basically, are
well, here's the thing, man. When you grab like a bunch of clay or a bunch of goo and you squeeze it between your hands, you can squeeze so much, but it's going to squeeze out between your fingers and stuff like that. So anybody who tries to control anything, either conceptually through the imagination or physically through like the UN and police forces and cities and things like this, there's a calculable amount of something that's going to squeeze out between the knuckles as you choke it, and it's going to be the most highly concentrated, creative, essence of the human spirit, or what I would call life. It's going to be the most creative form of life. It's going to be water finding its level. So creativity behaves as water, and it finds its level, and it has no choice but to express itself through, the human mind and the human body. Because how else are things built? This like it comes from the imagination or the perturbation of the imagination, the manipulation of the imagination, and that creates the worker bees that go and create the honeycomb that builds the hive, and then everybody stands back and goes, "Oh my God, how did that happen?" Well, it's like because of you, fucking retards. So if you want to build your own little hive, I don't know. You get a sweet little mama bee with a big butt, take her back to the honey pot, put your stinger in the old wazoo, and you say, "Bitch, sit still. We're going to have a few worker bees on the farm, and we're going to make some honey. Don't fucking complain."
Yes.
Just watch out for the fucking Con Edison winter that's going to make us explode in our own shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is
here it is. Here's the quote. Here's the quote that I have written down.
Thank God, finally.
It said heightened senses plus heightened senses and intuition plus inhibition equals Asperger's.
All right.
That in your pipe. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, I got that bumper sticker already, so give me something else.
I mean, I think people just need to mull that over and think about what that says. Heightened senses, so heightened sensitivity and intuition, plus inhibition. The world is fucked.
Yeah.
So why would you want to get up and do anything?
Yeah.
So then they call you a fucking retard.
Yeah, they do, and I hate it.
To dismiss, so everybody else that's under the fucking spell thinks you're a fucking idiot and dismisses anything that you say.
Yeah.
And then that real fucking autistic, real retards are idiot savants that know fucking math, and that's all just in the movie.
Yeah,
So the fucking Rain Man movie was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It wasn't based on shit.
Yeah, nothing's based on shit. Well, I mean, shit's based on shit. But imagine my surprise the other day at the cafe when I said, "Could I have a small black coffee, please? And what do you think about the moon actually being a photoelectric after effect from the sun's radiation in the ether?" And the guy said, $1.50, please.
He thought he's like, what fucking language are you speaking, guy?
Yeah, I would never do that. I don't fuck with people anymore. But I was walking and I looked up at the sky, and it was one of those artificially heavy cloud days where you can see the sun as a perfect circle through the through the clouds or whatever that screen is. And it was obviously the same size of the moon, which was over yonder. And that's something I've been chewing on for long enough. And I said, "Oh yeah, it reminds me of photo film or something." It's like, could be. It's just like when I close my eyes, I see the after effect of the sun in my eyes. And of course, they say don't look at the sun. And I've done it plenty of times, looking at the sun. I don't recommend it because I don't know what the fuck it is. But I look at it fucking midday, fucking noon. I didn't give a fuck. And I said, "Let's see what happens when I do that." Yeah. Well, for the rest of the day, I kind of had something. I couldn't get the fucking black dot out of my periphery. But nothing bad happened to me.
You're really on to something.
Yeah.
You're really on to something with that. Because I used to develop film. I used to develop my pictures and stuff. And
you got to be in a dark room to develop it, right? Yeah, back in the day.
Well, yeah, you have to have the darkness in order to see the light. And like I made a few videos, and I think a lot of the stuff wasn't picked up on by a lot of anybody that really viewed it. But
that'll always be the case.
The film, like the film, or submersed in the film, and that's like what these images are being cast on and projected onto.
The Phil I am.
Yeah, I used to do that film. Like I took my own Yeah, I would
Super
take
8?
my own pictures and
Oh,
then develop the film in the dark room at the college there.
yeah.
But that was when Mumbles was in his youth, when he was spry young lad. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a little. I was like, you ever hear of like little man Tate? Well, I was little man Taint.
Little man Taint, yeah. Yeah, he loves baloney.
So like as a kid, because I was always fucked up, like my parents always thought I was fucked up or whatever. So they gotta, like some people are, oh, he's fucking retarded, and other people like he's a genius, So like
at least
one
they had a
summer I
debate.
found myself. Well,
for me, they
like one or two
threw me in a
summers,
burlap sack and tossed me in the fucking Potomac River.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
A few summers I found myself at this Dowling College out on Long Island.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I had to like go to like this stupid fucking bullshit and like spend my summer like doing like, it was kind of like a Monsignor, is that what they call it? A Monsignor school?
Something like
kind of
that.
like just do what you want. Come here and do what you want. And
okay, like Montessori school, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I made like a couple fucking like comic books and like a couple of like I don't know bullshit fucking things,
Yeah.
And,
You rock
like
the world.
one year I did like the photography and developed like did everything, did all that.
So did they ever figure out if you were a genius or a retard?
The verdict is still out.
Well, now I think that the thing is you can define yourself by who you keep company with. But if you hang out with a retard, you might be the genius, my friend. And I congratulate you.
All amongst retards, yeah, sure.
That's what I'm saying. Breaking Wind podcast hour times.
The genius amongst retards is not much of a genius at all.
I know, man. It's like getting the highest grade. Fucking what was that thing?
Yeah.
What did you call that? Oh, God damn it! Here we go again. The school for the not the school for retards. They said they put you in like a special
resource room.
The resource room, yeah, like being the fucking genius in the resource room is not the highest honor of the land.
It was just, yeah, I mean, like, it was all right with me because I was like, all right, well, otherwise I wouldn't have done my homework at all. I would have just thrown that shit in the trash on my way home from school,
Yo, but check it out. They at some point somebody had the forethought to put you in a dark room with some film to figure out this moon sun condenser photoelectric situation. And I'd have to say it's paying off.
I mean, I learned, I mean, I definitely learned things, but not what they wanted me to learn the way I want, not the way they wanted me to learn it,
Well, that's what I'm talking about, squeezing the clay so hard. Like you get a highly refined, creativity that squeezes between the knuckles. Like you can't squeeze the whole thing completely. I mean, mechanically and mathematically, in theory, conceptually, yes, you can, but in reality, you cannot. You can't even get a grasp of what New York City fucking is. Have you ever been on a boat or something or a ferry and gone around the island?
Sure.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. You look at the skyline, it changes every other second from every perspective. It doesn't make any sense what it is. Like, what is New York City? It's like you just kind of have to leave it alone. It's like it's a mechanism, and when you're in certain parts, it behaves certain ways. And
floating turd.
Yeah, man, you're just on a giant floating turd, and it's like a matter of where you want to put your awareness at a certain part of the day. Because if you put your awareness in Times Square at 5:05 p.m. on a weekday, you're going to be under a certain amount of stress and you're going to behave in a certain amount of way. It could trigger your creativity. When I worked at the porn magazine, that was my favorite time to fucking be out. I was kind of a speed freak. I'd walk against traffic, like everybody was headed towards Madison Square Garden to catch the train on 34th Street. And I would go, our office was on 30th Street, and I would leave at a certain time. And I was young too. And I get this high, and I go to this Puerto Rican bar, and it was just littered with fucking, the fucking double amputee Puerto Rican pimps. And oh man,
you're talking to me, muchacho?
You'd sit there and get some of the best half-truth stories ever, and sometimes they let up off some of the good stuff, and then there's just the big titty mamacitas behind the bar that had been there for fucking ever. You could tell she was a shit back in the day, and things are just drooping over the bar. You just had the best conversation. The fucking day would just pass, and then you go across the street and you pick up. I don't even know why. I was just hanging out with the dude. He smoked cigars. He's like, "You ever smoke cigars?" And I was like, "Nah, they taste like shit." He's like, "'Cause you don't know how to fucking smoke them." I was like, "All right, teach me." So we went across.
Yeah, smoke.
Yeah. Next thing I'm doing, I'm smoking on a big fucking log under the goddamn Port Authority, being like, "Yeah, I don't know I'll let this homeless guy suck my dick for a couple of bucks. Why not?" It's a steep incline to the top.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like a matter of where you put yourself. So if you put the Mumbles on an animal farm in a mud pit upstate with a bunch of donkeys and access to $21 tubes of oil paint, buy two get one free. Hey man,
I'm afraid to use that stuff.
I can't believe you're investing so deeply into your own artistic abilities. I don't have the confidence myself.
If you can't invest in yourself, then who can you really invest in? And again, I really don't.
The Jews, obviously, if you're speaking mathematically.
Well, like Mumbles and economics and finances really is not one of my strong suits. I know what I need to do. I know what I should do. I know what I need to do, but it's just a matter of doing it. And it's much more fun to just, spend it like, every day is the last day. So that's kind of how I've been living for a long time.
Well, that's how you get cool rocking chairs and donkeys and nice microphones. I can see where this is going. Is like,
try not to bring up too much debt and just, buy whatever the fuck I want when I got the money.
Well, I can tell your best strategy is just not to give money to hollow-eyed, hopeless gentlemen on the street.
Well, and other alphabet agencies.
Well, let me tell you this. The man found the gate.
A lot of profits. Tend to eat up a lot of profits.
Just find the gate. That's it. Just find the fucking gate. And then please thank Retardica on the way out.
Those those alphabet agencies that like to eat up all of, good portion of everybody's earnings.
You mean the money laundering operations?
Yeah. If you don't pay them, and if you don't participate in that little scheme, you'd be surprised how much you earn a lot more than you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you offering me a job?
When you don't have somebody taking half of your shit every week, then under the guise that you have to pay for it because just because.
Because as the song goes.
You have a lot more money in your pocket at the end of every week. And
sounds great. Sign me up. Do I have to apply online, or do they send a fucking anal rape fag to my front door?
Well, either way.
All right. Well, I'm gonna opt for the online registration.
Mumbles can always branch out and get work and stuff for his friends, but
oh yeah, what alphabet agency can I work for? Do I have to wear a suit, or can I just put on?
No, it doesn't. No, not with the
fatigues?
Alphabet guys, not with the alphabet soup guys. This is like proprietary, self-proprietary stuff. Like pirates.
Oh, you're talking about like greasing engines.
You join Captain. Yeah, all sorts of stupid shit. All this stupid fucking crap that like people don't really need, but they want just in case.
Like gun running?
No.
Drug mule?
It's just no. Mumbles works a lot around these rotating electronic, magnetic fields like.
I can haul antennas up on the top of
power generation.
Yeah, I can
on top of
radiate poor people in their sleep with giant transmission antennas.
I have my own theory about being submersed in the reciprocating engine is pretty bad for you as far as your hearing. I think it's the worst for you. But the field that the generator is pulling, it's basically just a giant, rotating magnetic field. But how there's energy's not being created, or it's just being induced. It's being pulled in and pushed onto the wire.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think happens with prolonged exposure of standing in this field of induction where all the ether is passing through my body before it goes into those coil windings?
Well, it either makes your dick bigger or your dick smaller.
Well, I don't have any problem in that area. But I mean, I think it definitely has to do something to your heart's electromagnetic field and your brain's electromagnetic field. And
is that what makes you such a good artist? Is that what you're saying? You're like the artistic superhero?
I was bitten by a radioactive generator.
Yeah. And that's why robot poop is such a great painting.
Yeah. But like,
so I can get paid. I can get paid.
Yeah, everybody gets paid.
Now
you
listen,
just gotta
so you're
be part
telling me
of the show. You just gotta fucking go. The hardest part is showing up.
You're telling me I can get paid. I can get paid to make my dick bigger on your company card.
Well, I can't guarantee any results. But you're definitely going to get paid if you work. Yeah,
and working is in between a 66 and a 99. Yeah.
Oh, sometimes
basically stand in a space, and I have to suck up this magnetic radiation.
Sometimes Mumbles actually has to bust his ass.
When you're like hauling shit upstairs, or
yeah, I do that. That's what my specialty is.
Yeah, you're a mule.
During the last blackout, in the downtown Manhattan, the financial district.
You caused that?
The two buildings. No, but the two buildings that Mumbles was responsible for their power plants.
Yeah.
Were the first were the first two buildings to have full, electrical after the flood. Yeah, those were the first two buildings that came back online, mostly due to Mumbles' efforts. Mumbles was the only one that was willing to climb 44 flights of stairs with equipment in tote. Twice in one day.
Me too, son. I'll do those.
Twice in one day. And got the first emergency generator that was on one roof online, which enabled elevators to come online. And then once the elevators were online,
then all the fat fucks can come up through there. Yes, dude.
Yeah. But Mumbles was like the hero,
dude,
of the day.
Do you know how I make my money? Fucking finger blasting old Jews in the ass so their prostate will work and they can have any sort of semblance of life. You know, it's amazing how much that fucking pays. Basically, what you're describing is exactly the same fucking thing. I'd much rather climb some fucking stairs and be the fucking hero, because you know how many fucking punks won't goddamn do that? I'm the dude that does the shit nobody wants to fucking do. That's how I always made fucking money, and I was always surprised. It's like, you lazy fuck. Yeah. 44 flights of stairs, that's fucking nothing. Let's go. It's not like we're not going to be, regulating our THC and CBD on the way up. Come on, man.
Absolutely. You got to get fucked up.
Yeah, you're not fucking racing the clock, man. You just stay hydrated. You fucking do your thing. You get shit up there, and everybody's like, good work, man. I'm like, what the fuck, you lazy fuck? You should have done it yourself, you fucking cock. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I gotta be
and then, like
triple, quadruple digits on that day. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Mumbles gets taken care of,
That's what I'm talking about. It's a post-butterscotch world, baby.
Yeah, sometimes it's, like today I had to go
not fun
and work. Well, it wasn't fun, but I really, it was about an hour worth of work, 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. But I went with my boss, so he kind of just slows things down, and so I just got back
shit
here
in the world.
At 5 o'clock. Yeah. So it was like what should have taken 3 hours was like 5 hours, But
and you
I get paid like
same amount, whether it takes 3 or 5, but you get what you were promised.
Oh yeah, I get the whole. If I leave the house for at all, I get the whole day.
Well, so how do we LLC a Retardica into this situation?
I was thinking about doing some sort of industrial painting and industrial coating type business.
Yeah, you got to coat shit.
So we get free paint.
Yeah, with all this global warming, climate change, that's hell on a outdoor paint job.
Yeah, I just did a nice muffler. We painted that sucker right up,
Yeah, man.
Did that.
Well, yeah,
6 hours, but it was like fucking hot as day. I was hot as ass.
But here's the thing: when you understand time is just a 6 and a 9 with a fucking asshole in the middle, then it's going to end. I mean, unless you're running the risk of having like a coronary or like shitting yourself to death in the middle of having heat stroke or something.
And like I've been in the position a lot of times where I just can't focus on my work because of my animals at home. I'm wondering if there's anybody home, letting my dogs out and all that shit, but when I know I have the home front being well guarded and all of the animals attended to, then I'll just fucking sit there and suck up the time, and like there isn't really any immediate rush. It's I think for most people it's probably
more
financial.
They think
financial thing, you know, like people feed out their bills.
Children.
Oh, I got this bill, that I got this bill. Yeah, we got to feed kids, and you know, so like those people want to get, you know, get paid, go home.
Those people, those fucking people.
You know, like Mumbles, really, I got like 2 credit cards. I don't think I really owe fucking dick. I mean, like maybe $3,000 between the 2 cards.
Sounds like a business plan to me.
I don't really, you know,
well,
doesn't. I always stay ahead of it, so I'm not like worried about like, oh, I gotta make a paycheck.
Well, I gotta make. Let's make this clear. Are you offering me a job to help you stay at home?
No, I would work with you. I would come and do.
Yeah, man. Because it's gonna be.
I need somebody that I can work with. Because like my
what the fuck are we waiting on? This is great.
If there's 2 people working equally as hard, then the job should take me less than half the time.
Technically,
so that to me in itself is worth it. But then if you get to do it with a friend and you're fucking around and doing, fucking time flies, you know, and you're, you know, it's not like you're going to work. You're just going to hang out.
Well, as they say in Japan, this is what I learned in Japan, you know. If you're having fun, a time of fries. So actually, it gets very hot. It gets very hot and crispy.
I bet.
So yeah, they
call
it tempura. But
I mean, Mumbles.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? If you do that, then
I always got stuff that I could do down there, but it's, you know, like I usually don't want to do it because it's either I have to do it all and it's fucking not worth it for me, or
you're lonely. You're lonely. Yeah, you need to pay. You need to pay for a buddy. Come and hang out. Like these fucking old Jews that I have to finger blast in the asshole. I get it. It's the same scenario.
So yeah.
Everybody's using Retardica to fucking make their day go faster.
Well, no, I mean, it's going to be work. I mean, you know, depending on what it is. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. What would you want to do besides? Like,
I'd like to.
Like, would you like to learn like how to do like any mechanical type work or like preventative maintenance type shit?
Yeah, well, if you tell me, you know, where to go and how to twist the shit, then I can do that. I mean, it's like if it requires, let's see, if it requires welding, I'm not qualified. If it requires turning a wrench and reading a meter, I'm qualified. If it requires hazardous chemicals, I'm probably going to have to get training and a permit. And I'm probably not interested. Even though those chemicals are probably made out of fucking plants anyway, but it's probably going to make my dick smaller. I'm really interested in making my dick bigger. So if I can,
yeah, well, we can figure something out.
If we can immerse me in one of these like dick enlargement, dielectric magnetic, you know, flux fields. Yeah, okay, then we're talking. Painting. A lot
of times, yeah. A lot of times I need somebody, you know, on the job with me, you know.
You're definitely going to need somebody to help you with your podcasting because we're going to have to do some, you know, in a real-time podcasting on the job.
Right, yeah, just do like, we'll both get the GoPros.
Yes.
Tim and Dan or show great or whatever.
Yes, there's so much good material there. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
you're just discovering that now, nah? That's real good stuff. You're familiar with it, but
some of them before. But man, I got, you know,
much good stuff to be.
I've been on and off with this. I've been on and off of this YouTube shit for a while, and you know, sometimes it's like, well,
it's a hit and a miss,
serious
isn't it?
about. Sometimes it's all like I want to be like this serious, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and then other times it's like I just want to watch some stupid.
I'm
crap,
gonna make a Japanese print woodblock print today with cross hatching and beads. Go. Teach me everything. I tell you, I did a fucking. I mean, there's.
Before I forget,
Go.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That last one, that last video, the larger empire hazers, Mirage Rays helpers.
Yes, or what I call poop robot. No, robot poop.
Yeah,
that
one.
Yeah.
So the name is like in a lot of my instances is what I call style over substance. Or no, the opposite of that. So it's basically just two anagrams, you know, separated by a comma.
Yeah, I figured.
And it just says, what's the words? Autism, Asperger's. Yeah. So it's autism, Asperger's, autism, Asperger's. But those are two anagrams.
It sounds like we have a name for our subcontracting company.
Yeah.
Autism, Asperger's.
I've been thinking about this for, you know, at least a good while now, you know, probably the last couple of hours anyway.
Yeah. Sounds like it. It sounds like it's been marinating for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we should really genuinely present ourselves as two autistic boys. And I think we get millions of subscribers.
Yeah, and probably lots of painting work.
Yeah, we would be probably we'd be bigger than Corky.
I hope so, man. Corky's really not that big anymore. I know we like him, but he's not as big as we think he is. That's just like not too.
Well, who's like the most famous retard right now?
The most famous what? Autistic?
Oh, just famous retard actor. Who's like the most famous retard? Like Stephen Hawking's dead, right?
Well, I think. We got Jake Gyllenhaal.
Melted that figurine.
Well, I mean, it's hard to tell who's really authentic. Or somebody acting like they're really, you know.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is you think Corky's a real retard?
Yeah, that nigga fucking retarded, son.
Hey, you think so?
Yeah, super retarded. I mean, did you see him with his quote unquote his band? All right, here down in the comments. Down in the comments of this video, go to Mumbles YouTube. The what? Did he go to a play?
Oh, I'm saying, like, you never saw live theater?
Yeah, I seen live theater, but I ain't seen fucking. I ain't seen Chris Burke at live theater. You know, bringing the house down for his rendition of Lion King.
Like, I mean, what if you saw like Doogie Howser, like, you know, doing some bullshit karaoke? You're gonna think he's like a doctor?
No, but I know he's a fag.
He played Doogie, but that's pretend too. That's just for publicity. He's one of those.
No, but it's pretend. It's pretend for real. It's pretend for real. Like remember the jocks in high school? They were like, you know,
it's pretend for real.
They were you know, gay pretend for real.
Yeah, well, those guys were really gay, but
yeah. So Doogie's you know, he's gay for a paycheck, like me.
Yeah. Just prison gay.
Oh well, I mean that's David Allan Coe gangster shit right there. or like
Yeah,
Axl Rose singing about them what do you call them? Figures and nuggets?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Isn't that what Axl Rose was singing about? He got in big trouble.
Radicals and racists, don't point your fingers at me.
Yeah. And wasn't that perfect?
Time white boy just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah. See, look at that. You got it.
Oh,
fucking thing memorized.
No, don't want no bracelet. Yeah, no.
Now listen. All I know.
Get out of my way. Don't
look,
need
all I know is
none of your gold chain today. Yeah, that was my favorite band for a long time.
Well, like you said, they could have been bigger than the Beatles, but fucking.
I don't have. I have
Axl was too fucking real.
I have 2 Guns N' Roses tattoos.
Well, now that's now we're going too far.
Of the Use Your Illusion 1 on my leg, which I got before I knew what Use Your Illusion meant. And then the other one, I have Victory or Death, which Axl has tattooed on him as well.
Well, at some point we're going to interview Axl Rose.
Yeah, we got drunk and we got those tattoos together, and then we both put our hair in cornrows at the same time. We used the same lady. We used the same lady to do our cornrows.
Well, the difference between you and me is that I didn't actually get the Beastie Boys' first album with the crashed airplane blunt tattooed on my back when I had the opportunity. And
no, why not?
There's certain days I ask myself that same question. Why not? And there's certain days I go, oh, that's probably a pretty good move. Probably one of the good decisions I made is like, man, don't do a full back piece with fucking License to Kill. Although that was one of the greater paintings of all time, and you could read "Eat Me" mirrored in the back of the plane tail. And that was a huge thumbs up for me when I was a kid. I said, how did they sneak this past the censors? And then I realized that team that was on the supposed those buildings, those props downtown Manhattan, you know, that artistic group that was up there supposedly, you know, it's a whole nother fucking
students.
A whole nother fucking probably fake goddamn story put up there. But it was called the E-Team. And if you take the E-Team and you rearrange the letters, you get Eat Me. And then on the back of the fucking plane, on the Beastie Boys record, this is breaking news, you fucking...
It said Eat Me?
Breaking...
Or what?
It says Eat Me. So the E-Team and
Mumbles,
Eat Me...
Mumbles needs a butterscotch. Mumbles needs a butterscotch.
Yeah, basically, I think we are the Egyptian hieroglyphs of the next generation. You don't remember the Beastie Boys' first record? That was like just some pivotal shit for me. It was a crashed airplane. It said Beastie Boys. That's where my description ends. License to Ill. But I'm gonna have to go because the federal police are surrounding the building right now, and
Raleigh.
There's different alphabet agencies, but they're all black vans, but they all have different letters on them, and it's getting
Raleigh, is it?
Yeah, it's getting a little unpredictable. But
all right, well, whatever you got.
I need to know if I need to know if I'm employed the next time we broadcast a Breaking Wind or not.
I think we should talk about that off of the air, and then you know, Maybe we could do something.
Don't tease a motherfucker in a dark parking lot. We gotta talk numbers, son. This ain't checkers, motherfucker. This is chess.
If I know, I can't sleep at night knowing that a Goyim brother is out there fingering you assholes.
You can't sleep at night knowing that I'm going hungry. I can definitely help you sweat less. There's going to be situations I'm going to make you sweat more. And I did contact the establishment that served you the beverage that gave you AIDS, and they were not concerned about us pressing charges. And I was pretty emphatic about we were going to press charges.
Was this the place?
The QR lemon AIDS
that shut the air off as soon as we went in?
Yeah, as soon as we walked in, they shut the fucking AC off because they're like, it's the Goyim. Turn it off.
Look at these two homeless fucking homeless non-Jews. Look at those noses. Look at how small their noses are. You know, like
that was it.
You. Yeah.
Take this. Yeah. And so I let them know that you contracted lemonades and then that was a deadly disease and it been diagnosed by a certifiable source and that we were going to be pressing charges.
Did I write that somewhere about 80s? The 80s? Did I write that? Yeah, the 80s.
What about
that? That's I think I put it in my comments. Under my retard painting, my last retard painting.
I'm not quite
I said sure. I was talking about the 80s music.
Yes.
The 80s. The 80s. 80s.
Oh, I see. The 80s. Yes, it's like an award. It's like an award, really, for the best gay actor. You get the 80s.
When was AIDS like popularized? When was it like trendy? The 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Or was that earlier?
No, it was Eddie Murphy. Kiss your gay friend, get the AIDS on your lips. Go home, get the AIDS. You got AIDS.
But that was this late.
Mr. Murphy, you have AIDS.
Late 70s? Or
no, it was the early 80s. That's when I got the AIDS in the 80s. In the 90s, I got the 90s.
You got
the 90s. My dick got real small.
When does the HIV come in? Where's the HIV come in?
The HIV comes in before. That's basically the precursor to the 80s, which is saying that your immune system is suppressed. So if you have a cold, you might contract HIV. You might be diagnosed with HIV. So the whole thing's a scam.
Right. So you have the HIV before you get the AIDS.
Yeah, and that's how they die. That's the gateway to the diagnosis. But granted, if you're going around and pissing in guys' assholes and then they're shitting inside of your mouth, and you're basically drinking a lot of alcohol, and you just call it a fun Friday night, but you do that repetitively, your immune system is going to start to go down. Ask me, I know.
They do that? You ever hear of that thing they call it shrimping?
I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I've known a couple of adventurous buddies who've tried it.
It involves straws. it involves straws. But
well, I know that Tom Hanks did it several times until he got it right.
In that movie Big?
Is that what it was? I thought it was Forrest. I thought it was Forrest Shrimp. Forrest Shrimp?
Yeah.
Forrest Shrimp. Was it Forrest Shrimp? Forrest Shrimp, I thought.
Shrimp. Yeah, I went to that.
Forrest Shrimp.
Bubba
Gumps.
I went to Bubba Hawaii.
Yeah, who didn't?
Over in Maui.
Yeah, in Maui.
I got the T-shirt.
Well, let me tell you, I got a couple of T-shirts that, knock the shit out of that fucking
Panini press T-shirt.
Yeah, man. That's a fucking fuck Bubba Gump and his There's so many controversial things I could say that I don't mean, but it would just be funny to say it.
Shrimp and both.
Fucking shrimp both.
Oh.
Anyway, you know, I'm gonna go out on say Tom Hanks is a big old fag. Yeah, how about that? He's not.
He's probably
He's not a woman. He's not a fag. He's just a regular dude that just fucking doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind it. You and me, we got it.
I was trying to get to this before when you were talking about, you know, black people, and I was like, you know, you really can't call anybody black, and you can't call anybody a woman. You can't call anybody a man, and basically can't call things by their proper name, and we have no way of labeling each other, so everybody becomes androgynous.
Yeah,
and that's where we're at.
Well, and kind of
identity.
In a sense, it mimics the right idea, which is it's getting away from the conceptualization of what you are, because you are nothing. You are nothing different than me, which is the divine manifestation of whatever the fuck it is, right? But you try to tell somebody, so you call me a nigga. It's like, no, I didn't call you a nigga. You associate with that word. Like that word is only for you if you accept it as your identifier.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty high-minded conversation in a dark alley when you're trying to exchange some T-shirts with some weird tattoo dudes.
Yeah, don't be telling me about no gate.
But he went through that gate. Look at him now. You know, fucking solid proof. If you listen,
it's just silly. Like people,
What did you say? It made me laugh. You said, you said to me, like, oh, don't try to relate to me, man. It's like that's the only thing anybody really wants you to do is really relate to them, and kind of like, don't try to relate to me, man.
I would have respected you if you just tell me no, you ain't got it, bro. Yeah.
It's like, oh well, yeah, that's what I need is just, you know, more respect.
Yeah, you need that. You need respect from that fucking guy that's asking for change. But what was I gonna say?
Well,
do you have to go?
Well, all I know is the last black guy that asked me for change. I don't know. He kind of messed up my next 8 years. He kind of messed up my expectations a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say.
I thought we were just getting to like we can't call things, you know, like we can't label things, and that gets to like, you know, what if we can't label each other, like why can we label streets, you know? So like,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's too high-minded.
Just so. Well, you know, like I think it's pretty logical that people need to know how to fucking describe things. How else do you describe things to somebody else? Like, oh yeah, go over there and go find the guy.
I agree, man.
No, I can't tell you.
I agree, but we just have to write it.
You can't even talk to the guy. Just go to the train station and pick up, you know, the person.
Yeah, go pick up. Meet the guy with the thing, and that's that. It's like, no, you have to describe. It's going to be the fucking. It's going to be the Indian guy with the fucking, you know, tikka masala. It's like, oh, you called me an Indian guy with the tikka masala. How do you know I'm not just another man with the tikka masala? It's like, it just fucking narrows it down, dude. Oh, you call me a dude like I am a cowboy. Am I a cowboy, dude? I'm a dude on a dude ranch. It's like, no, you're not on a dude ranch. Oh, ranch? Like ranch dressing? Ranch dressing? I don't put it on my salad like I can't use another dressing. It's like, nigga, why your voice sounds so stupid? Well, because I'm Indian.
You're just making a description. You're just making the description. You're painting a word picture to help somebody visualize what the target outcome, you know, or what you know, what you want them to find, or whatever.
Well, I got a little bit of time on you, like, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I can get out of here quicker than you can. But the meaning, like, you'll see the next cycle that comes after this. Everybody's going to ease off everybody's going to ease off that shit. They're going to take that pressure off of the United States. The whole Donald Trump sideshow is going to go. I mean, They did this with George Bush. They got everybody all charged up. It's the electrical charge, right? They pump up your endocrine system and get you all emotional. They divide you. Then they give you the black guy. Unbelievable. I mean, really unbelievable to get a black guy as a president with the, you know, that state of mind. And then you get a black guy and nothing happens. It's a disappointment and, you know, whatever. And then you get the hyper liberalism and the big divide and the Alex Jones shit. It takes about 8 years, and then you get this Donald Trump shit where it's like, no way that's going to happen. And you get the whole anti-feminism, fake feminism thing. It builds the charge up again in another fucking ebb and a big flow. And when you start to go back, you realize, oh, before George W. Bush, they had Clinton. They did it then too. They had a great, supposedly great economy with this, like the first black president, Bill Clinton. That's what they called him, the first black president. I mean, it's so fucking bananas. Then you go back before that, it was George Bush with his New World Order, and then before that, it was Ronald Reagan. But before that, it was the peanut farmer, Carter, right? And then before that, it was Nixon. And Nixon was the worst thing that could possibly happen to America back then. It's like this same rigmarole over and over and over and over again. But now we have the luxury, we can kind of rewind it and look at it and go like, oh, this shit just is not fucking working, man. I think that's why they got to give us like some flat earth, and they got to pull that back. And
I was trying to make a point earlier with these airplanes, and you know, like I think like a lot of the focus is on the wrong aspect of all of these so-called, you know, hoaxes or conspiracies, you know, like the chemtrails, for example. You know, all right, so forget about whether the pilots know what they're doing is good or bad, whatever, who cares,
right?
But you know, what I think can really be learned from that, or the most beneficial thing to observe and try to learn from, is just watching the very end of the chemtrail, quote unquote chemtrail stream, and just watch how holographic and pixelated the sky is. And it's really just like a centipede. It's like playing the centipede game, and it's just a fucking caterpillar or a centipede tracking across the sky, 1 or 2 pixels at a time. And you know,
there's a lot to be gained from that. I mean, definitely, if you look at how an old school television cathode ray tube works, and then you think about the gases that are supposedly, you know, up in the atmosphere and how it's laid out, things like that, and what they call electrons blasting down into the Roy G. Biv. You know, it's there's something there. It's hard to articulate because we're coming at it from such a bass-ackwards point of view. You know, we didn't. They didn't teach us this in school.
Like when you're looking at the TV, right? Like those older TVs.
Yeah.
After it's been on for a while, and you shut it off. It's got that burn-in.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Like
that's what I was talking about, the moon.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to tie it in there.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mumbles did it again. What a wonderful day.
Stuck in the film, you know, and it hovers there.
Yes, exactly. And so there's no there. And when you think about I've always thought about this, like the sunspots mimic the quote unquote craters. And then when you look at the quote unquote craters, they look like pitting. I don't have direct experience from pitting and doing like, I don't know what kind of welding that is that creates that kind of pitting. But I know if you like zoom in on
that's just impurities that are not using enough argon. And not having argon, you know, blowing the impurities away, and you get those pitting like that.
That's that pitting. But you can kind of look at that pitting and you can see a crater. But also, if you look at the craters on the moon and you just kind of tweak your eye a little bit and you turn the three-dimensional effect in reverse. I don't know how to explain it, but you can see that it's It's not going in like a dish, but it's kind of coming out like that pitting. Like if you use solder or something like that, the solder creates a certain texture. And if the light hits it a certain way, it looks like it's going in, but it's an optical illusion that's coming out. But if you think about the sun and the sunspots, whatever those happen to be, and the relationship of that activity on a photoelectric film, leaving that image behind it, and then the sun, whatever that is, I think of like when you use a magnifying glass to set something on fire, you know, like bad kids would set ants on fire or something like that. Whatever that focal point is, that could be what the sun, quote unquote, is, or at least the that
we see.
Yeah, you know, that we see, and you can't really get to it like a rainbow. You can't really get to it, but it leaves a certain intense photoelectric effect depending on how much intensity is there at the time. And then if it's going up or down, or you know, it's winter or summer, all these things that we've been taught are seasons are just actually like the height and location and angle of this focal point in the sky, and the moon just kind of is the after effect of that focal point. Then you can kind of predict the electrical effect and the conditions on the Earth, which the moon is said to control the tides, so that's not directly correct, right? But in a sense, if you watch the moon, you can predict how the tides are going to move or something like that. But there's some there. The condenser. What's the opposite of a condenser? A condenser and a fucking breaking
evaporator.
Wind. Yeah, something like that. So there's actually no thing.
Evaporator, condenser. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So the sun would be basically the sun would be the evaporator, and the moon, quote unquote, is actually the absence of the sun. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no actual moon doing something. It's the absence of the sun, and then we attribute it to a thing. That's why it was important to make it a physical object, to point to it, because then you have a stake in the ground, and then you can say, once you get to the moon, then we can send these fucking robots out to Mars, and we can send around thing. Well, and all of them are photoelectric effects to some certain degree in the ether that are just visual effects of the intensity of the sun's relationship. Yeah, so take my balls, suck it, everybody. Congratulations, now you know the answer. Mumbles LLC. If you want a job, go on Craigslist.
The moon is a condenser unit in a sense that it recycles the souls, you know, and the spirit.
Yeah, and the spirit being the sort
whether it is, it's, you know, yeah, like the mist, you know, and that, you know, even if it is just a you know, the light burnt into the firmament, or a reflection onto the firmament, or, you know, some sort of just luminescent body. It's just like I said to you before, like drawing the spirit like a moth to a flame. And whether we're just bouncing off the firmament, that, you know, in that spot that's illuminated, we're just going to that and just bouncing off and coming back.
Yeah.
Or, you know, who knows what.
Who knows what, but we're getting a little closer getting close to nowhere. But I mean, somebody has gotten as close as as a human possibly can. And the only reason they're able to lay claim to this information and obscure it is because since you're a child, you're not given any sort of perspective on this. And so once you start kind of chipping away at it, you can actually reverse engineer it and figure out to a degree what the fuck is going on without having to take it in the ass and swear secrecy to, you know,
so do you think,
climb the higher echelons?
So are you like proposing or thinking, or would you care to have any input on the thought? Like the so-called moon or lunar landings are really just them going to like the firmament and like walking around on the firmament, and then that's where they're going to go back to. And then, like, or
for
you think
me,
it's just
it's just easy. For me, it's just easier to go to Laurel Canyon, take that Charlie Manson phenomenon, tie that into the music, tie that into the military, the people who were performers and entertainers of all different kinds, comedians, musicians, actors, who worked for naval intelligence, what naval intelligence means, how that ties into NASA. NASA is basically naval intelligence, and then the marriage of science and technology, and then capturing of the imagination, and then
sorry, yeah, it's like NASA's like the PR for the military intelligence.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And then Hollywood is sort of the silent hand that contributes to. I mean, that's how they kind of launder all the political narratives, and then the CIA becomes the political narrative of Hollywood and FBI, and then that's why we see these sort of really retarded productions on like our level. Once it kind of sifts down to us and we start to see, like, who is that retarded guy? Something Carver, the coroner for the Sandy Hook thing. It's like that guy was such a retard. He could have even been John Goodman from Roseanne or something like that in makeup, but that's not the point. The point is, it's like by the time it gets down to our level and they're putting it out, not even our level, but to general mass population, the production quality is pretty. They're not spending a lot of money on that sort of stuff. They're spending more money on, like, Matt Damon going to Mars, taking a poop on his potatoes, and things like this to capture the imagination. So you just got to keep the imagination captured, the entertainment. You just have to contain the mind in a certain capacity to create an idea of isolation. Like, what's more isolating than the idea of space? Or every day you wake up and you eat your Cheerio cereal and you look at the milk carton and it's like it's a missing child. What could be more isolated than a missing child? And you start your day jacking yourself up on some caffeine, eating some fucking whole grains, looking at a missing child. It gets stuck in your head. That's why words are important. So it keeps going. And when you're a child, you don't have any defense against it. So you're watching dinosaurs lose their mom, or deer lose their mom, Bambi, right? And then that whole thing goes on. An isolated child. Space, 2001. Nothing more than an isolated child. Oh, fuck, the fucking end of 2001 was a fetus, an isolated child looking down on the blue marble or whatever. So it just is creating this psychological effect. Whatever perpetuates that psychological effect, some subtle and some otherwise, man, you're getting the business done. And I don't think too many people really are in the business of understanding how that works, because it's so easy to trigger people through money. So if you have a natural knack for making people laugh, and you're intelligent, and you get a manager and you're a comedian, somebody can pick you up, and your material can be funny, but then you're going to get at a certain point, you're not going to get work unless you're funny in this sort of particular way. Don't crack on the goddamn Jews. Don't talk about 9/11, man. That's not funny. Like, go this way. I'm pretty sure Charlie Murphy died and wrote both of the Netflix posthumously from the grave. Charlie Murphy, whoever he was or is just writing Dave Chappelle's Netflix scripts, because when you watch Charlie Murphy's early movies that never got popular, the jokes are the same as Dave Chappelle's new Netflix things, and I can't watch them because
didn't Charlie Murphy like do a lot of writing for Eddie Murphy too, though?
Yeah, probably, but I mean, It's
Well, what do
just
you think? They're the same person?
no.
think,
No. I think Charlie Murphy just went deeper underground. Like he got an offer.
Oh, you don't think he's dead? You don't think he's dead?
No, I mean, I think it's just more business. Like there's an opportunity to ghostwrite for people. Charlie Murphy was a really funny writer, from what I understood, but as an entertainer, right? And so,
wrote that.
yeah. But so when, but Dave Chappelle's Netflix is not funny because it kind of cops out starting to talk about these events that happen. Like I don't know what they were, but the events that we all know that are all shit.
Dave Chappelle show, wasn't he? He was on the show.
Yeah, he was a writer for Dave Chappelle. But then Dave Chappelle bailed and
too, though.
Took a hiatus, and Charlie Murphy.
Other dude, right? What was that other dude's name?
Ashy Larry. But he wasn't a writer. He wasn't really a writer. But Murphy was basically. Yeah, there was nothing to watch. But the point was, like when Dave Chappelle reemerged, he came through GQ magazine, big thing. I wasn't really paying attention to it, but it was just like so heavy, it was hard to. And I was curious, like, wow, Dave Chappelle. Now he's all beefy and shit, and then like Kanye West, and he starts showing up on Jimmy Fallon and all this sort of. But the content of what he was talking about was completely different than what he used to talk about. And it started, and then I pirated the Chappelle Netflix shows, and I was watching it, and I got like 15 minutes in, I was like, damn, this reads like I don't know what you call it, like a hoax event script, because it gets right up to a certain point and it takes the funny thing, completely ignores it, and then talks about, I don't know, it's just taking that emotional thing that triggers most normal people and then riding with that, but it ignores the obvious, like, retarded shit. And Charlie Murphy was a really good writer on that stuff. He had a lot of popular, he had a lot of unpopular comedy films. But if you will watch them, there's just something, you know what it is. You just kind of pick up on it when you watch something. You're not really looking for it. It's just there, and you go, that reminds me of something. You're like, oh shit, like George W. Bush sounds like Charlie Manson. Interesting. But then you get into the nuance of it, and you're like, damn, Dave Chappelle's material, he's still make me laugh, still will get me to laugh because of the way his entertainment talent. But the delivery, but the material is coming from somewhere else. The material used to come from him. Now the material comes from somewhere else. And so I'm pretty sure that material is actually coming from Charlie Murphy. So Charlie Murphy got a deal. It's like, be the ghostwriter for the new Dave Chappelle image and then just cash out. And you just get leukemia or whatever the fuck. And then that helps perpetuate the, celebrities with money die early. Dave Bowie don't die at fucking 69 years old.
He doesn't overshadow Dave Chappelle in that sense.
And that's the other thing, right? So it's like, Charlie Murphy may have been like half and half pretty gangster anyway. Just been like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I'll just go say my shit or whatever. They'd be like, well, how about if we give you?
I think that was, but what I've heard from Charlie Murphy was that he was always like the shy guy, and that's why he was behind the scenes, and Eddie was in front of the camera because he didn't really want to be in front of the camera. But then I think like Dave Chappelle kind of like broke him down and got him in front of the camera, just like fucking around and then I guess it went out and people liked it. And, whatever. He was like always self-conscious that he was ugly or some shit. I don't remember what exactly, but
yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I mean, definitely there is something to be said for like Dave Chappelle go out there and like very comfortable putting himself out there. Even he called himself out on some shit or whatever. It's very difficult when you look like your famous brother. Like Charlie Murphy looked exactly like Eddie Murphy.
Right.
And then, so, like, even when you want him to be a separate person, he's still fucking Eddie Murphy's brother. So there's probably got to be some point where, like, you're just going to hit a ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, just like if you're the fucking one-legged comic, you're always going to be the amputee guy. You know. Like
Steve Buscemi. Like, he doesn't want to fix his teeth.
No.
He likes his teeth just the way they are.
Yeah.
That's why he gets so much work, because he got that personal, like that character, you know, like. But
that's why I don't want to fix my attitude. That's what the people have come to expect. A retarded man with a whiny voice.
If everybody was the same, it would be very boring.
Oh, we're getting there, brother. That's why it's up to you. That's why it's up to you. You windbreakers out there tuning in to 6699 AM, the Breaking Wind Dialogue Show times hour. It's up to you to fucking don't give up. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Keep it alive. Well, I don't like hope. Hope is
it sucks. Hope is worry in reverse. It's the mirror image of worry. It comes from the same place. It's completely useless. It's a neutered effect on anything. It's just in your imagination. Whether you worry or hope, it has no effect on the outcome. You know that fucking bulldozer? I don't know, it's popped in my head. That bulldozer and what was that guy that Michael Myers played that character. Retardica's drawing a blank. The British spy.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. Do you remember that one part in the Austin Powers movie where, like, the bad guy is about to get run over by the steamroller, and the steamroller is going real slow, but the guy is going Cut away. It's kind of like that's where we live. It's like if you just get out of the way, you're going to be all right. But if you just kind of stare at it and point and grunt and scream, you're going to get runned over.
Yeah, well, take out your cell phone and take a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you just got out of if you got out of traffic, you wouldn't get hit by the fucking Mumbles mobile.
Yeah.
Hey man, I want a job. That's for real.
Hey man, I
feel like that dude.
I want to give you.
I feel like that dude. Don't point me to that gate, motherfucker. I'd have more respect for you if you just told me you didn't have a job. Don't fuck with me and tell me you got some work for me.
I'd have more respect for you
if you didn't try to help me.
Yeah. He's like, motherfucker, I don't want no job. Just buy me food.
I don't want food, not a job. God damn. Already sweating.
Yeah. I'll try to line some stuff up. I'll, like I said, we'll talk in private, and it's not really anything exciting.
Well, I'm not looking for excitement, motherfucker. I'm looking to fucking get my clothes dirty and go home at the end of the day. I got a shorter commute than you.
I know. I used to love it living in fucking Bayside. I'd fucking roll out of bed, jump in the, whatever. It depended on where I was working. Like if I was down at Ground Zero, I'd jump on the train, or.
But I'll tell you what, if you get me some.
A lot of times I'm stuck driving, so I always got a truck, or sometimes I'm lucky enough to take my car, but.
If you give me some work, I'll splurge on an Airbnb somewhere in Queens, and we can just hold up and do a live post engine room show.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Anytime I go down there, I get a room, so it's not.
Well, it's got to. No, it's just got to be. No, it's just got to be convenient for me. I can't go out to fucking Secaucus.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is it depends on if I'm working. If like usually I work with somebody who's up here, And if we go down there, then it's like I'm kind of stuck with them, you know.
I got you.
But if I'm traveling by myself, then I could park and fucking go and stay wherever I want, really.
No,
but
that's the idea.
Working with the boss. When I work with the boss makes the fucking reservations and all that bullshit. So
I gotcha. You know, all right, I got you.
Right.
We'll talk offline, and then we'll do that shit because I gotta get some. I gotta get some cash.
Yeah.
It sounds like fun because I like to bust my ass and then stop busting my ass and then take a break in between ass busting, and then always kind of have that in the background as a possibility.
I agree.
Yeah,
but yeah, living in Queens, you know, it was always very lucrative. You know, like I would, you know, because I was so close, I would work every day, and I just, you know, it's quite a pay cut when you only start, you know, working 2 or 3 days a week. But
yeah, I know.
I still try. I make it work, you know, but it's by choice. I can work every day if I want. I just don't want to, you know, because I
think that's a
prefer
good
to be
move.
home, and I can make do with what I get in, you know, a couple days pay. But I can definitely be making things better for myself and getting ahead of the game if I worked full time, or, you know, not, you know, just every day anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe we can make it a little easier, man.
Yeah.
You know, if not, we'll get some fucking fart jokes out of the deal. So
yeah, you know, maybe our subscription base will grow overnight.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm always sure about that.
Well, you know, now that I don't know if we spoke about this on the last Breaking Winds, that we have the website, and the what's that? The other thing, the blog post. Is that that's just the site? What is that? Just give them the website.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, like breakingwinds.com. That's the hottest news in town. Breaking Winds Dialogues. Yeah. Breakingwinddialogues.com.
Yeah. Breakingwinddialogues.com. www.breakingwind.
BreakingWindDialogues.com.
All lowercase.
All lowercase. And guess what? Lowercase. Once you finally type all that shit in there and you get there, there's nothing new. You've heard all this shit. You've heard everything there.
Yeah.
We did that so that we could submit to iTunes.
Well, didn't I put it on there, like, you know, for the oldest tune in, you know, so they're going for the oldest stuff, right? You know, when they get there. Yeah.
All I did was organize it.
If you want to keep living, if you want to keep living in the past, guy.
Yeah, guy, go for it. Put your 6 into your 9 and turn it into a 96, and then fuck off. Stop texting me. But that's it. That's the big news. We got a fucking website that's basically a shitty blog that we procured.
2.5 hours to get to that.
Yeah, that was. Hopefully, we don't have any special reports for the next episode. You're gonna have to just fucking wait 3 hours to hear what it is.
Yeah.
But basically, we did that so that we could submit to the iTunes. You got to have a blog that has a RSS feed address that you give to iTunes, and then iTunes will pick up that RSS feed, and then apparently you get subscribers, and then you get censored.
When they go on to iTunes, they're going to click on something and go to that website that I have, or
when
stay on iTunes.
No, what happens is when you submit your shit to iTunes and iTunes accept it, then you're in the iTunes search engine for podcasts. So if you type in comedy podcast, Because that's the thing. I don't know how to describe this fucking thing besides, if you type in comedy
like, what
podcast.
Do they see? Like, if we put a video?
No, they see whatever our image is. Go to iTunes on your computer and type in Joe Rogan, whatever you see there. Same thing.
No, I wouldn't type that. Even if I went on to iTunes, I wouldn't type that.
No, but
that's like
you type in. All right, let's say like conspiracy podcast, which is not.
Is Feature Man on there?
Huh?
Is Feature Man on iTunes? Is Chugs on
iTunes? Podcast. I think he's just a YouTube guy.
Okay, so like there's no media file, like no audio or no visual stuff. It's just thumbnails type thing.
Yeah, it's just it's an MP3 that you're downloading. That's what a podcast is. They have video podcasts, but we don't do a video podcast.
That's a VOD cast? What do they call that?
I don't know what they fucking call that. Who cares?
POV?
They call that a POV. They call that a POV money shot wind. They call that a breaking wind money cast. That's where all the ladies win.
From
3 hours after the fact. 3 hours after the fact, you get the big payoff. Breaking wind money shot. You're welcome. No. I gotta go though, man.
To a lot of producers. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm sure plenty of producers have already picked up on this gold mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go, man.
No problem.
I hope
Sorry
not.
To keep you,
for Christ's sake, man. You kept me. You sure did keep me.
Yes.
I just have to keep the old fucking gravy train running. Fucking.
I hear that.
Jews are not gonna finger blast themselves. I hope you celebrate plenty of dry weather and less mud upstate, my friend. You deserve it. You're pumping out some great art. You're pumping out some great art.
Oh, I'm glad somebody enjoys it.
Yeah. Yep, the same guy I talk to occasionally is the guy who likes your art.
Cool.
And we'll do also we'll talk about doing do a show up in Binghamton.
A special 20th episode.
Oh man. Feels like only 18.
I'll start the premiere now.
All right, man. Get that shit up.
Be like 2 weeks of premiering
tonight
before we actually do it. No, I'm saying I'll start premiering for number 20.
Oh yeah, do that. That'll get the people excited.
So like everybody will be like looking at like, oh man, when is this thing gonna happen? And then like a month later, when you finally come here, we'll do it.
Hey man, it's worth the wait. Yeah. I say it's good shit.
Sometimes I don't know. It'll probably be like this time next month because I think on the 10th, Mumbles has like
your bris,
some fucking memorial. Oh, like a memorial. Mumbles,
Grand Mumbles.
Yeah, Grand Mumbles died yesterday or the day before or something.
Oh.
So,
wow.
Do a little thing or something on the 10th. So that weekend is going to be out for me because my family from out of town is going to be in the area. So. But probably after that. Maybe the following week.
Maybe we'll talk a little bit offline.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wow. Sort of a somber note to end on.
Let you go there. Oh no, I don't. She was 96 or some shit.
Yeah, there you go. That's a 69.
Alzheimer's and all that fucking bullshit, So it's not really like.
Yeah. Well,
it wasn't really my grandma,
Well, Do what you gotta do to make a nice poem to confuse everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're the guy for the job, dude. Yeah, seriously, write something nice. You're a poet.
Yeah. But, yeah, you know Mumbles' real last name. So, like, yeah, that's like the, she's not Ma, but, she was...
I gotcha. I gotcha.
She was like
Yeah,
niece.
yeah.
And that she was my grandma. So, but we always called her, you know, Ma.
Right,
That's
right.
old Ma. You know what? But yeah, she used to fucking be badass, carried a pistol around and shit.
Yeah, that's the shit, man. Yeah, you actually talked about her on some previous shows. So anybody who cares to pilfer through 40 hours of content.
I don't know if that was her. I might have talked about the other one, the one that was banging Whitey Bulger. That's on my mom's side.
Different.
Yeah, this is my dad's side I'm talking about now. Yeah.
Your roots run deep, my friend.
Well,
still waters run
allegedly.
Deep. Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So all right. I don't want to keep you any further.
Well, let's say.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, folks. I'm Donald Trump. And there's two things in the world I love. A good deal and a good meal. So when I drove by a defunct Meineke muffler shop in Englewood, New Jersey, I knew what I had to do. I had to buy it on the cheap and convert it into a restaurant specializing in buffalo chicken wings. So I did. And it's the most important thing I've ever done in my entire life. So please, join me at Donald Trump's House of Wings.
Trump, you know our wings will make you happy. Trumpy, you know our wings will fill you up. Trump, if you want a place with awesome chicken wings, yeah, Donald Trump's House of Wings.
Am I saying I'm a chicken wing expert? No. But I can tell you this. The wing is hands down the best part of the chicken. Better than the head, better than the torso, better than the back. And at Donald Trump's House of Wings, you can get them with 5 different levels of hotness. Regular, hot, 3-alarm, suicidal, and hell spawn. And if you like celery, congratulations, it's on the house.
Trump, you know our wings come with free celery. Jumpin', you know these veggies are good for you. Trump, if you want blue cheese, there'll be another extra. Donald Trump's House of Wings.
Donald Trump's House of Wings is hands down the best wing restaurant in New Jersey. To all you people out there, stop by and enjoy. And to all you chickens, you're fryered. I don't like that. Come on, get the dancers back.
Trump, you know our wings will make you happy. Trumpin', you know our wings will fill you up. Trump, if you want a place with awesome chicken wings, yeah, Donald Trump's House of Wings.
They really make that Alec Baldwin look a lot like Trump these days.